Night Health continues. Our guest is Dr. Max Gomez. He graduated cum laude from Princeton, earned his doctorate, PhD, from Wake Forest University School of Medicine there. NIH postdoctoral, I mean, all kinds of stuff, reporter, writer, he does it all. Let's talk about a couple of things. We mentioned Bob Hariri. Let's talk about cancer and these magic cells that we all seem to have.
So the issue there, and what Bob has really was a real pioneer in this whole field, is so many of these cellular therapies require a lot of cells. We need what we call stem cells, or they're kind of progenitor cells or stem cells. And it used to be that the only place you could get these were from embryos. And, you know, the Catholic Church and a lot of other religious groups had ethical and moral objections to that because it involved usually destroying an embryo in order to get those cells.
Right.
Well, it turns out we can get, most tissues in the body have what we now call adult stem cells. Fat, as it turns out, has plenty of these adult stem cells, but the brain.
I donate my belly fat, Dr. Max.
You're walking around a virtual bag full of stem cells. Is that what you're trying to say?
That is exactly it.
So, but even then, we probably can't get, with some exceptions, we probably can't get enough of these stem cells for some of the applications that we need in order to make these human drugs, these human living cells that are going to be the drugs. And what Dr. Bob Hariri, who is an incredibly accomplished guy, he's, as you found out on your show, I mean, he's a neurosurgeon. Brilliant. He's founded these cell therapy drugs and so forth. But what he was one of the first, if not the first, to realize that the human placenta is virtually an unlimited source full of cells that are kind of one-size-fits-all, generic stem cells. And by that I mean they haven't developed the tissue markers that would cause them to be rejected. So a handful of these placentas would supply, literally millions and millions of cells. So it's the placenta and Bob Hariri's work and pioneering work in this that shows that we can take placental cells and use them as off-the-shelf cells, because normally we would reject somebody else's stem cells or somebody else's cells. In this case, it doesn't happen that way. So
Wow.
That's the beauty of the cells that are coming from the placenta, and what Bob Hariri was a real pioneer in.
We have to talk about the fact that you have actually produced a number of stem cell conferences at the Vatican. And you just made the statement that the Roman Catholic Church and other religious organizations have not liked the idea of stem cells because we thought they had to come from embryos.
Right.
You're a wizard.
Most people are really shocked when I tell them we've done now I've helped organize and then moderate major parts of 4 international scientific conferences that started out with stem cells and then became sort of cellular therapies writ large. They were co-sponsored by and held literally at the Vatican in the same room. We hold this in the same small auditorium that the Pope meets with his cardinals.
Oh my!
And as you pointed out, the reason that they're okay with it is because whether they're adult stem cells or placental cells, it doesn't require destroying an embryo to obtain these cells. So they're okay with it. That's why they co-sponsored it.
Are they as viable as embryonic stem cells?
They were thought originally maybe not, but in all of the studies that have been done, they found that they are as effective. Now there may still be a small handful of applications where the embryonic cell may be better than the adult cell, but for the most part, if you take one of these so-called adult cells, Or, by the way, there's another type of stem cell called an iPS cell, which is you can take skin cells, insert a handful, it's usually 3 or 4 genes into it, and get the cells to de-differentiate is a scientific term, but they kind of revert back to their embryonic state. So they make embryonic-like cells. So we have plenty of these cells, either from adult cells, placental cells, or these iPS cells, to do exactly what we need. There may be a handful that we need embryonic cells for, but we need to do the experiments to prove that. And for the most part, all of the experiments and all of the research has gone into adult stem cells, iPS cells, and these placental cells. And they've been used in everything. As long as you, if you talk to them nice, you treat these adult cells nice, you massage them correctly, put them in the right environment, you can get them to become almost any kind of cell that you want. And that's the beauty of these things. We've learned how to manipulate them enough so that they become
Dr. Max, we're
out
of time, and we're going to I know we have so much more to cover. We will bring you back in the next few weeks. Dr. Max, the name of the book is Cells Are the New Cure. You can find it at Amazon.com. That's the best way. We'll also have his website and information at LateNightHealth.com. Dr. Max, thank you. We've got more coming up.
Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Hold on. More coming up. Don't go away. Late Night Health continues.